using outreach programs, facilities, and shelters. Pastor Boo shows me the laundry room and explains that all of the washers and dryers are being donated.
He basically told me, what I can do for you, Pastor Boo, is I'll give you all the washers and dryers for free, 24/7 service contract for free. I'm looking for the hook. I'm looking for the catch here because that don't normally happen. So he said, it's coin operated. I said, yeah. I said, how does that all work? He said, well, the percentage is 90-10. I said, there's the hook. He said, what you mean? I said, yeah, 90 for you and 10 for me. He said, no, it's the other way around. Praise the Lord.
He says praise the Lord a lot, which makes sense because he's in the business of, well, praising the Lord.
Somebody tell the person next to you, I believe. I believe. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Pastor Boo and 2 other ministers conduct Sunday services in the cafeteria of the Waianae Elementary School, and about half of those who attend are homeless. Their church is called Powerhouse. But he's also in the business of getting homeless people off the beaches in Waianae, and part of that requires that he look at it as exactly that, conducting business, and he makes no apologies for establishing what could be described as draconian security measures.
We got about, I would say after we get done, we get about maybe over 20 something cameras.
How much money went into security?
I would say maybe around $450,000 with the type of fencing that I'm putting in. I'm not just putting chain link fence in there. Born and raised Waianae, the people that I know, they jump this fence like gazelles.
Pastor Boo's commitment to rehabilitating homeless people is motivated both by his Christian faith and his desperation to save his own community from despair and poverty. But it also reflects the state's willingness to deal with the problem. There are plans in the works for other facilities like this one. But 6 years ago, there weren't miles and miles of coastline filled with shanty towns, which owe their existence, in part, to a runaway market that has turned houses into ATM machines and redefined the meaning of the word home. While the state is giving money to dealing with the homeless problem, it's also spending more money on tourism and military-related projects, such as the Super Ferry, an inter-island ferry system for the public that is also outfitted to transport the Striker Brigade. The brigade is made up of over 300 20-ton urban warfare vehicles. The state forked out $40 million in harbor improvements for the Super Ferry, and then convened a special session of the legislature to give the ferry what amounts to a free pass on environmental laws that are in place to protect endangered species, such as the humpback whale, whose birthing area lies in the path of the Super Ferry. And the Tourism Authority's budget is already $30 million more than the Housing Authority, and most of their money goes to marketing in other countries, like Japan. Those taxpayer dollars can be seen hard at work daily in Waikiki, or at Ala Moana Beach Park, where homeless people are routinely swept out by the police, and young couples from Japan are posing for photos, costumed in American bride and groom attire, wearing flower lei. Most of these couples were already married in Japan, but they've spent thousands to come to Oahu to enact a fake wedding and have their photos taken with Diamond Head in the background. And 40 yards away are homeless people with their shopping carts and hefty bags, sleeping as they sit up on park benches because to lie down would attract the attention of one of the police cruisers nearby. The juxtaposition of economic and cultural opposites is stark. While the tourist is experiencing a fantasy about paradise, the homeless are experiencing the economic hell of that fantasy.
They paved paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone?
A few miles down the road, in the heart of Waikiki, is the Pink Hotel, called the Royal Hawaiian. The stretches of beach in Waikiki are almost as stunning as those along Waianae, and these beaches also have thousands of people on them. Only the people in Waianae are breaking the law by being there, and these people are being served pina coladas. I chatted with some of the tourists, asking them if they knew anything about the homeless Hawaiians. Most of them just smiled awkwardly and shrugged. But one man, Conrad, from Austin, Texas, had some thoughts to share.
Do you know anything about what's going on locally?
We know about the Super Ferry and the stuff going on with that, and we know about the University of Hawaii football team.
Well, do you ever hear about the Native Hawaiian issues? Are you aware of the homeless situation out on the Waianae coast?
No.
Does it surprise you to hear that there are about 3,000 people living out there under tents on the beach?
I don't know if that's a lot or not a lot. That's not unique to being here. I think we've taken away the will to live because there's too many handouts, too many subsidies, and that's the way it is with the American Indians and the Aleuts. We get all the oil money, and the Aborigines get all kinds of government subsidies. Are feeling guilty about taking their land away from them. We pay them, a lot of money, so they have no reason to work.
Noenoi Silva is an associate professor of Indigenous politics and Hawaiian language at the University of Hawaii. She sees the impact of the housing situation on Hawaiians as going beyond the economic to the cultural and the spiritual.
Actually, Native Hawaiians have a history of being displaced in our own land, and that displacement is not just physical, although that's very painful, but it's also cultural and spiritual, because we're a genealogical people, because we are people who are close, we remain close to our ancestors, and we need to remain close to our ancestors, and they need to be close to us. Our reality of experiencing this dispossession and displacement and poverty for so many people is really the result of other people's buying into a fantasy. So when the tourists come here, or when rich people come and buy second homes here, they're buying a fantasy that's being sold to them of leisure, of no problems, of beautiful weather, all of those fantasies, and that's literally built on top of our reality, including the digging up of our ancestors for these luxury buildings like the Ko'olani. These buildings are just relentlessly going up all over. And then the other thing is, it's really sad to see all these buildings going up and more people becoming homeless.
Thousands of Hawaiian burials have been disinterred throughout Hawaii for both military and civilian construction projects. And while the new federal spending bill will bring $530 million next year to Hawaii for construction of new housing, it's only for military housing, which means the same economic machinery that started this real estate trend will continue, even as the subprime mortgage market tanks. Standing outside the Ko'olani high-rise condominium complex in Kaka'ako, I can see the Ala Moana shopping center down the road, where Esther used to clean up after people for $8 an hour. The Ko'olani is a site where 18 burials were removed, where the price for an apartment ranges from $797,000 to $4,250,000. Next door, the ongoing construction of a Whole Foods market recently unearthed dozens of Hawaiian burials, and archaeologists say at least 300 more sets of Hawaiian remains will likely be found. Whether Hawaiians are dead or alive, being displaced for a luxury condo, or a military installation, or an organic food store, whether that removal comes via a bulldozer or the economy fueling the bulldozer, as thousands of wealthy people move into these and other newly built homes and condos, thousands of Hawaiians will continue to live on the streets, the beaches, and in their cars. For Free Speech Radio News in Honolulu, I'm Ann Keala Kelly.
You've been listening to an FSRN documentary on being Hawaiian and homeless, produced by Ann Keala Kelly. Special thanks to producer Monica Lopez and Antonio Ortiz for technical production. I'm Aura Abogado. On behalf of all of us here at FSRN, have a very happy new year, and join us tomorrow when we hear about corn at the crossroads, free trade, migration, and modified genes in the cradle of maize.